अखिलेश भैया नमस्ते। आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है भैया। दीदी नमस्ते। अखिलेश भैया नमस्ते। मेरी आवाज आ रही है? कोई मेरे को रिस्पॉन्ड कर पाए चैट में तो बहुत अच्छा रहेगा।
आपकी आवाज आ रही है दीदी।
नमस्ते निधि दीदी। निधि दीदी मेरे को लगता है अखिलेश भैया के एंड पे शायद कुछ है इश्यूज। मैं माइक देती हूँ सबको एंड मुझे लगता है हम सेल्फ रिफ्लेक्शन ले लेते हैं मीनवाइल जब तक अखिलेश भैया फिर से जुड़ते हैं। क्या ठीक रहेगा ये?
जी जी दीदी जी।
जी। निधि दीदी मुझे लगता है जूम का शायद इशू है, मैं भी माइक नहीं दे पा रही। आप दे पा रहे हैं? आप भी को होस्ट हैं।
जी जी नमस्ते।
नमस्ते अखिलेश भैया।
अरे ये कुछ टेक्निकल ये हो गया क्या? मैं
मुझे लगता है कुछ टेक्निकल ग्लिच है, मेरे एंड में भी आया। आपका आप ठीक है? अब आपकी आवाज क्लियर आ
हाँ
रही है
जी जी
भैया।
मैं अभी सुन पा रहा हूँ।
हाँ भैया अभी आया है स्पीकर मेरे पास। आपकी आवाज
ओके
आ रही है मेरी?
जी
जी,
जी जी
निधि दीदी ने माइक प्रोवाइड किए हैं शायद। तो अखिलेश भैया स्टार्ट करें।
हाँ जी जी जी
हाँ
श्योर जी। Are you able to see the PPT, Didi?
जी भैया।
जी जी जी। So I wholeheartedly welcome all the participants in this holistic health session. In today's health session, we will discuss about the healthy bowel habits. So healthy bowel habits is essential for healthy life. So going for bowel habit every day early in the morning, in will be considered this as the healthy indication of healthy digestive system. And this is the general mindset of the Indian people that every day when they pass the stool or when they go for the defecation, when the bowel is clear, they feel relaxed and they have the mindset that yes, I am healthy. So scientifically also the person who regularly and pass the bowel without any difficulty, that indicates that his whole all the digestive system is working perfectly. And generally, for definition, it is voiding of feces, that is fecal matter, that evacuation of this fecal matter that we say as the defecation. And this desire of defecation, we know that we eat, we take food, consume food, it undergoes digestion. So from the stomach it goes to the small intestine, and from small intestine, again the process goes on and it reaches to the large intestine. And this large intestine, there is a ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and then we have sigmoid colon. So all the food which we have consumed, it passes through all this digestive process and this colon, and it reaches to the sigmoid colon. We know that we have this peristaltic movement, a colonic movement is there. Through this colonic movement, gradually the all the food with after the digestion, it reaches to the sigmoid colon and it is stored there. So sigmoid colon is like a storage of all this fecal matter. And when there is a mass moving contraction in our colon, what happens is because of this activity, this is the very giant peristaltic movement. When there is a peristaltic movement is there in the gross form, then it from the sigmoid colon, the fecal matter reaches to the rectum. And when the quantity increases, then the pressure will also increases in the our rectum. And when it reaches to 20 to 25 S2O, at that pressure, we feel the urge of defecation. So that arises the urge of defecation, and the person feels to go to the toilet and void the fecal matter or go for the evacuation of this fecal matter. And sometimes when there is no such peristaltic movement, then what we do is we just take a small cup of water, or some people have a habit of taking tea. what happens is whenever you're consuming some liquid or some food item, then it initiates the peristaltic movement in our gut, and that peristaltic movement helps uh, to push the fecal matter which is stored in the sigmoid colon to the rectum, and then he will develop the proper desire, and then he goes to the toilet for voiding of this feces. So this is in general what happens. So what is the right time for going to the defecation or for the bowel cleansing? Actually, early in the morning before the sunrise. We in the previous sessions we discussed about this biological rhythm and how our bodily biological rhythm is connected with the earth cycle. So that circadian rhythm. So because of this natural connectivity of each person with the whole earth cycle, early in the morning before sunrise, naturally in the gut there is a giant migrating contraction. That means a very large peristaltic movement will start, and this peristaltic movement, it starts naturally. There is no need of even going for some stimulus like the tea, coffee, or even taking water also early in the morning. If we have a habit of waking up early in the morning, the body has the natural tendency that it will have the giant migrating contractions in the gut. These contractions will help to push the fecal matter stored in the sigmoid colon to the rectum, and then there will be proper desire for the passing of the stool. So this is a very natural process. But what happens is when we are sleeping late and we are waking up after the sunrise, then this phase is already passed. The phase when the gut they have the movement and there is a proper desire, initiation of proper desire to pass the stool, that has already gone. And when we wake up after the sunrise, many a times the people they have to take some kind of stimulus to again initiate this contraction, and then they go for passing a stool. But if we have healthy lifestyle, we take food in the night proper time and we sleep in the proper time, the food will be digested and we wake up before the sunrise. The bowel movement is very natural for every person. And in many of the countries, this, like in a study of UK, it was found that per hour of the day, the defecation were recorded per hour of the day. The majority of defecation, 61 and 59 in men and women, respectively occurred in the morning. So majority of the person, the normal passing of the stool will be only in the morning. And another small peak in the defecation timing was recorded at evening 5 to 6 o'clock. So some of the people, they go for passing stool twice in a day. One is early morning and then next again in the evening 5 to 6 o'clock. So this is the time period when passing a stool is very easy. And if your timing of food intake and your sleeping time, that all has to be in accordance to our circadian rhythm or this earth cycle. When it is in the proper way, then only it will happen. Suppose if our food intake, we are taking food very late in the night and waking up, maybe we are waking up early in the morning, but because the digestion process is not yet completed properly, so there will be no collection of the fecal matter in the sigmoid colon because things are still going on. So we may not be having the proper desire. So this require a whole proper follow of daily regimen. And one basic thing is passing of food. When our intake is good, then our outlet is also good. We are taking in good diet, proper fibrous food, and which is suitable for our digestive system. When we are consuming such healthy diet, this will help for the proper and healthy bowel movement. If our food habit is wrong, we are taking some bakery products, maida products, which has no fibers, or excess of this meat, etc., which has no fiber, then it will be very difficult to have a healthy bowel habit. Then we have to take Sorry, it was disconnected. Now, are you able to see?
Yes.
So actually, healthy bowel movement is connected with our healthy food habits. When our food habit is proper, our intake is good, then outlet will also be very good, or we will have healthy bowel habits. What is the right position for defecation? So, in the Indian style toilet, the sitting posture that we say is the squatting posture, that is the very correct posture for passing the stool. Because when we sit in this flexed leg and little bit bending forward, that is the position when our rectum and anal canal, they will come in a straight line. So when they are coming in a straight line, then passing of the stool will become very easy and natural. Whereas when we are sitting in the Western toilet, then we have to put one at least 10 to 12 inches stool in front of our toilet, and then we have to keep our leg over that, and we have to bend little bit forward. Then this angle will be coming to the rectum and anal canal coming to the straight line, and the passing of the stool will become little easy. If we are sitting like without keeping one stool in front of, without putting our leg over a stool, then the rectum and anal canal will not be in a straight line, and we have to put some extra pressure, or we have to strain to pass the stool. So generally, sitting in Indian toilet is always good for a healthy bowel habit. And if we have a Western style toilet in home, then we have to put certain measure, we have to keep certain measures so that we can maintain the squat posture in that, and then the passing of the stool will become easy. Another important is the frequency. How many times we have to pass the stool? So 2 times per day is considered as normal. If the person is going one, that also is normal itself. But if he is going 2 times, so that means the food which he has consumed, that is even that all the after the digestive process, that is evacuated in the morning, and whatever the breakfast and lunch he has consumed, that is properly digested, then he will be having the natural urge of passing stool in the evening time. So passing 2 times is considered as the very healthy state of your whole digestive system. But most of the people, for once also, it is normal only. But if he is not passing daily stool, then he has to see about his dietary habits, his lifestyle, and whatever correction is required, then he has to make, and he has to take healthy diet so that the bowel movement should also be healthy. What is the average time required for passing the stool? So usually if we have the proper desire of passing the stool, then it requires only 5 to 7 minutes to complete this whole process, passing of the stool or bowel movement, it requires only 5 to 7 minutes. If I am spending more than 7 minutes in the toilet, sitting in the squat posture or sitting in the Western toilet, then it indicates that my bowel movement is not healthy, or I may require some corrections. And sitting in squat posture for a long time, that also becomes the causative factor, because it creates extra pressure to our anal region. And we discussed in previous session about the hemorrhoids or the piles. So this constipation will become the causative factor for development of the piles, because of the extra pressure which are put on our rectum and anal canal, and the veins which are present there, they will get dilated because of this force or because of this extra pressure. So sitting in that posture for a long time is not correct. And we have to see that when we have the proper desire for passing the stool, then we go, and maximum 5 to 7 minutes it requires for passing of this or completion of this defecation process. Then after the defecation process, we know that we have to maintain our personal hygiene, proper washing of the hands, legs, etc. So that basic hygiene we have to always follow whenever we are going for the defecation, passing of the urine or feces. An importance of regular bowel movement. So frequency of bowel movement is inversely associated with prevalence of hypertension and cardiovascular mortality. So it was found that the person who has healthy bowel habits, they do not suffer with this hypertension and cardiovascular ailments. And the person, those who do not have proper bowel habits, they are prone to develop these kind of problems. So it is indicated when the person is having constipation or his bowel habit is not good, that in a long run, it may create certain problem related with our cardiovascular systems. Another important thing is neglecting call of defecate is the primary cause of constipation. Many people, as I told, that early in the morning, we have the proper giant contraction for passing of the stool. Many times we wake up early in the morning and we are getting the proper time, or some of the people, because of their job or because of their working area, when if there is no such facility or any other issues, or those who have the traveling job, this person many times what they do is they forcefully withhold the urge of defecation, and that becomes the cause for the constipation. And when there is constipation and this content which should be thrown out from the body that remains in our sigmoid colon and the rectum, what happens is this is again the source of so many bacteria, and that will create many of the diseases, not only just constipation, but many of the diseases related to our abdomen, related to our GI tract, is related with our unhealthy bowel movement. So the stool, when there is a proper urge to pass the stool, so we have to see that we should go and we should avoid this fecal matter. And this is one publication about essential of healthy bowel movement and some basic management for this constipation. So the important key points of healthy bowel movement is, one thing, we have to concentrate our diet. If our intake is good, the outlet will also be good. And the other thing is timing, like we have to go early in the morning, preferably before the sunrise. Then we do not need any kind of stimulants, including the water also we do not require. There will be natural gut movement which will help us to avoid the feces. And third important thing is the time. We have to always see that we should not spend more time sitting in the squat posture or even in the Western toilet. And only 5 to 7 minutes is required for the healthy bowel movement. And the person who is suffering with constipation, he may require some dietary modification. And if dietary modifications are not helping much, then he requires some of the laxative medicines, preferably herbal laxatives. And the market of herbal laxative is very big, and most of the people, they go and they just buy this so many products. You know that the Kayam Chun or Pet Sapha or so many products are there in the market, especially for this healthy bowel movement. But it is always that we have to look for the diet first, and we have to maintain healthy dietary habits for healthy bowel movement. And only when healthy dietary changes are not helping, because what happens is when we are forcefully evacuating our bowel repeatedly, so that becomes a kind of nature that we require some kind of stimulants to avoid the fecal matter or avoid the feces. So that tendency we have to avoid, and we have to concentrate on our daily regimen, timing of the food, proper quality of the food. That way we can avoid the constipation and related issues. So this is in brief about the bowel habits. You may share your experiences, and if you have any questions, that also I will try to answer.
Hello. I have one question that how this fasting and this bowel movement is related.
Fasting.
Yes, sir. Fasting.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
is it that if I do fasting, then I'll have constipation, or is it inversely true that fasting will help in digestion? So, I mean, I want to know the relation between fasting and this bowel movement.
Yeah. So fasting, basically, what we have the idea of fasting is we have to completely stop food intake. That is not the actual fasting. Sometimes the fasting is advised with some suitable diet also in a little quantity. Like the doctor will suggest, like for here we say the fasting, some of the people we suggest some of the things also to take during the fasting, and not the regular fruit juices, or sometimes we say even green gram dal, etc. So that way also we recommend for this fasting. The other fasting is where the traditional religious fasting, where we completely stop the food. So actually the fasting is suggested to give the rest.
Your voice is breaking. Sir,
So it will get time to will again strengthen our digestive system. When our digestive system is getting rest, what happens is whatever the contents are there which are in our GI tract, that all will be properly become little easy. So whenever the person is doing fasting for the health purpose, then he has to little take advice, like what kind of fasting, how many hours is recommended for. But we suggest the kapha person to go for the fasting. Just some of the fasting with certain food items, not the regular food items, but certain, sometimes we ask to take the milk, etc. So that way the person will be in comfort, and it will help to strengthen the digestive system, and even it will help for the healthy bowel habits.
Thank you.
जी.
Thank you so much.
जी. Then one message is there is I find Western style toilet very convenient. Sometimes when I come across such Western style toilet, I sit on them in Indian style. Okay. So basically here again, when in the some of the people now the Western toilets have the dual kind of sitting facility where the person can sit in the Indian way also and or in the Western way also. Actually, there are certain guidelines which we have to follow when we are sitting in the Western toilet. So the basic guideline is we have to elevate our legs. So we have to keep one stool 8 to 10 inches and we have to keep our leg over that. So, and we have to bend forward and we have to hold our ankle. So that way we are trying to maintain the same angle which is coming in the squat posture. In the angle when it is coming, then the anal canal and the rectum, it will come in the straight line. Passing of the stool will become easy. So that way we can use the Western style toilet. So many times, like the old age person who find difficulty to sit in the Indian toilet, so we suggest them to use the Western style toilet, but follow some guidelines. Otherwise, what happens is the straining will be more. When straining will be more, then it will become the causative factor for so many other issues. Either there will be unsatisfactory bowel movement or there may be extra pressure and that may lead to development of the piles, etc. So to avoid these all problems, better to follow some guidelines and with that we can use even the Western style toilet. Anyone can share their experiences or if they have any doubt? So again, this passing of our stool is related with the other aspect of it is the constipation. The constipation generally it is described when the person is passing a stool less than 2 times in a week. But most of the people, what they consider is even if they do not pass a stool once in a day, that also they do not feel healthy or they have the mindset that something is wrong with them. Medically, we say that if a person is passing at least twice in a week, then we do not keep them under the uh, diagnosis of constipation. And this is the Western definition of like Western medicine that they have developed this concept or that they have defined it in a way. And there are other ways also, like in UK, etc. Many a times after the breakfast, So many times in India and even in the Western countries, their time for going to pass the stool is after the breakfast. So again, what happens is when you consume something, so there will be peristaltic movement in our gut, and this peristaltic movement will help for bringing the fecal matter which are stored in the sigmoid colon to the rectum, and then they will feel the urge of going to the defecation. So many people they follow the time after the breakfast, they go for the defecation. So one message is I am getting constipation after practice of fruit salad diet for breakfast. Basically, this fruit salad will not the cause of constipation. The diet which you are consuming, whether you are consuming enough vegetables, enough fibrous food items or not, whole grains, so that all are related. The fruits will not cause constipation. So actually, even we recommend that the person who is suffering with constipation, we recommend that they involve some fruits in their diet, fruits and even some of these whole grain items, salad also in their diet. So that will help for the making of the bulk of the stool. When there is a proper bulk of the stool, then evacuation will also be easy. So maybe the uh, dietary part we have to check. And suppose if again some of the people, their nature of gut is such that it is highly absorbent gut. In that case, we recommend sometimes this some laxative, herbal laxative to have the proper bowel movements. So any of the participants, if they would like to share something of, or if they have any questions related to their our previous health session or this health session, they can share. Yeah, milkshake with oats and banana. Actually, milk we do not recommend with banana. Milk you can take separately, and better to avoid taking milk with other food items, including the fruits. So that is the right way. Milk we say as the complete food, and it should not be mixed with any other food items. And now that like the fruit juices, the milkshakes, that we do not recommend. You can take milk separately and this fruit separately, and giving at least 2 to 3 hours of gap. And yes, taking milk in the night, that is also good. So suppose if you do not have a proper bowel movement, what I will suggest you add 1 or 2 spoon of ghee, cow ghee with the milk, and that you take. That will help for the soothing bowel movement, easy bowel movement. Yeah, oat is also fine because oats contain enough fibers, so that is also good. it will help in easy ball movement.
अखिलेश भैया आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
जी जी दीदी, अभी आ रही है?
हाँ जी भैया अभी आ
जी
रही है।
जी जी।
आई गेस आपका नेटवर्क का या ये रूम का कोई ग्लिच है, ब्रेक हो के आ रही है।
जी जी दीदी, एक्चुअली क्या है ना, अभी जहाँ पर हूँ वहाँ थोड़ा नेटवर्क का इशू रहता है।
कोई बात नहीं भैया, हमारे सवालों के जवाब आप दे रहे हैं। मैं प्लीज
थोड़ा मैं चैट बॉक्स में देख रहा था, कुछ क्वेश्चंस थे। हाँ, एक ये है, हाउ टू रिड्यूस क्रेटिनाइन इन किडनीज। एक्चुअली if your creatinine level is high, the one thing is you have to cut down your protein diet. Protein diet includes all these meat, etc. Then the nuts, dry fruits, nuts, including pulses. So that all you have to little cut down protein diet. So that will help to reduce this creatinine level. Other thing is uh, how much is rice, that is also important, because if your creatinine levels is going beyond 6, then many times the doctor recommend you to go for the dialysis. So high creatinine level is indicative of very uh, severe kind of abnormality in our body. So the kidney function is very essential. So normal kidney function. So whenever creatinine is high, that means kidneys are not working perfectly, and there are some severe kind of problems going on. So immediately you have to take the measure, and the first you have to cut down your all the non-vegetarian food and the nuts and high protein diet. Even some of the like grains, etc., like soya bean is very high proteinous diet. That all we have to cut down. It will help initially. But if there is some problem already diagnosed with some kind of abnormality in the kidney, then you require uh, proper medications also. So enough quantity of water also related with our healthy bowel habits. Suppose if you are consuming less quantity of water, so that will make the stool dry, and that also sometimes becomes the cause of constipation. So enough quantity of water is also important. Enough of quantity of water, when I say, it does not mean that we have to take too much of water, over hydration. In a normal condition, the person requires nearly 2.5 to 3.5 liters of water. So a normal condition means if the temperature is around 30°, 25 to 30°, then you require nearly 2.5 to 3.5 liters of water. But if suppose in the summer season, now is summer season, so you may require even the large quantity of water. So intake of water is also not only just dietary habits, but water intake is also related with this healthy bowel habits. Yeah, ghee you have to mix with warm milk, and that you can take. Actually, most of the people, what happens is when they are continuously taking this some kind of laxative, which are like the Kayam churn or Pet Safa, these kind of laxative, sometimes their gut nature will become little dry, or that will develop some dryness also. So in such cases, we recommend to go for some taking milk with ghee. So cow ghee we are mixing, that will help, and that will again do the lubrication, and that way your bowel movement will be very easy. Suryakant ji can. Suryakant ji, you can ask the question.
Suryakant, you have raised your hand. You can unmute and ask your question. Your hand is raised. Suryakant, anyone else who want to ask the question? Since mics are provided to every one of you, if you want to ask any question, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Hello.
Ji Prabhat.
Namaste, namaste, Didi. I have one question.
Namaste.
My daughter is not doing the skating, and she is a district champion in the skating. And in the evening, she do the rigorous training. So once day, what I do, she ate the banana and drink the water. So can she during the practice hour, can she eat the banana and drink the water as well?
Yeah, see, that we do not recommend that eating banana immediately having lot water. See, if you are thirsty, it's better to take water only. And if you feel hungry, it's better to take banana only.
Okay.
And see,
What
1
I
or 2
see now,
sips of water is fine. 1 or 2 sips of water, that is okay. But if you are drinking a whole glass of water and taking banana, that is not the correct way of dealing with your desire, dealing with your natural urges.
Okay. I want to know what can she take during the exercise or during the game?
Yeah, see, fruit juices is always good because it will give you instant energy,
Okay.
and it will satisfy your thirst also. So fruit juices you can take, or you can take this some glucose water, that all will fulfill your uh, need of energy whenever you are involved in some sportive activities or some vigorous physical activities. So that will not create any difficulty. But better to avoid some solid uh, food consumption whenever you are involved in some physical activities.
Okay. Bhaiya, can she take the glucose during the exercise? Because so many students I see, so many this player take the glucose during the practice hour during the game. Is it good?
Not like very good, but if she is feeling lack of energy for the stamina, that will give instant energy. And the fruit juices also, it will give you instant energy. Immediately after having, you will feel refreshed. So that way you can do. But see, one important thing is
What kind of fruit juices?
fruit juices like the Mosambi juice, orange juice, these kind of fruit juices you can consume.
Okay.
And one important thing is the physical activity. What we recommend is doing excess physical activity is not good. So the physical
Okay.
activities or the exercises which is recommended is half of your physical capacity. So when you are feeling tired, it is better to stop doing the exercise or doing any kind of some vigorous activities. You have to take proper rest. If you are doing overexertion or do too much of exercise, that will again have the negative effect on your body. So we have to
Oh,
understand our strength, and accordingly we have to plan our physical activities, not in excess.
okay. Because her coach now, because there are a lot of competition is there, so her coach push some extra exercise push so that they can do in the competition.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's
And competitive way of preparing for sports and that etc. That is little different. So what I am suggesting is for the normal, but if she is preparing particularly to participate in some kind of uh, competitive
yeah,
sportive
she is a
sports.
district champion and preparing for the state and national level actually.
Okay, okay. Then she requires some extra energy. So these things she can take, even the glucose and they have this depending upon their physical activities involvement. The coach will suggest her the proper diet also. How much protein, how much carbohydrate, how much fat, what are the things you require. They give some precise this all whole dietary plan also to them to maintain and see our intake and expenditure should have balance. If I am doing too much exercise and not taking enough quantity of food what is required, then also it is harmful. And if I am taking excess amount of food and I am not involved in physical activities or not expending these energy, so that is also wrong. So our intake and expenditure should have some balance, should have proper balance. So if
One
she
more
is,
question. One more question I want to ask. Sorry to disturb you.
yeah,
Bhaiya,
please.
after this over the exercise after 2 hours, half an hour that exercise, we give the coconut water to our daughter and the gari of coconut every day almost. So is it fine?
Coconut water is fine, no issue. Coconut water is good.
Okay.
Coconut water she can have.
जी भैया. Thanks. Thank you भैया.
My
Thanks.
pleasure, my pleasure.
Sunita ji, Sunita ji.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask two questions. Number
Ji.
one, is acne on face related to bowel movement?
Is every?
Acne on face. Children, they have acne on their face.
Acne, yeah.
Related to
Okay.
bowel movement?
See, the acne is related with your food habits. Many times when we take food, which are we say as the which aggravates the pitta dosha, the food which are oily, spicy, or this having the hot potency, these kind of food, most of the time they become cause of these pimples. So when our food is not good, naturally our bowel movement will also be not good.
Yeah.
So both are
Second
connected.
question.
Most of the diseases, nearly 60% of the diseases which we are suffering is related with our dietary habits. If we correct our dietary habits, most of the diseases we can avoid. And when our dietary habits are not good, the another result of it is our bowel movement will not be good. We will not be having healthy bowel movement. So both are connected.
Okay. Another question is, many times I feel that my bowel movement is not complete. That means after going to, that is, again, I have urge to go 2-3 times. So, how to, what to do in that? Why it's happening so?
Yeah. So unsatisfactory bowel movement, that means still the stool, still the stool is inside, and you, after going for the evacuation, you will not feel satisfied, or you will not feel the proper lightness which happens after the proper bowel cleansing. So again, the first approach is we have to see our diet, what kind of diet we are consuming. And second thing is, what I will suggest you to have a little milk with ghee in the night. When you are going for the sleep, that time you can have a little milk and the ghee. That will help you for this complete evacuation. But it will require little time, some few days time. Then you will see. Don't expect that the immediately one day if you have taken, the next day it will have the proper effect. It will take a few days, and it will help for the proper lubrication of your GI tract, and then you will feel very satisfactory bowel movement. First thing you see about the diet habits, whether it has enough fibers, etc. or not, the proper bulk of the stool is forming or not. So that all will help you. And if suppose any of these dietary measures are not giving you satisfactory result, then you can contact me and I will suggest you some of the very suitable herbal laxative.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Nirmala Didi, you also have unmuted yourself. You want to ask any question?
Yeah, Didi. Sir, good evening, sir.
Namaste.
Namaste. Sir, once I had a fever. By that time, during the blood test, I found that my creative protein, CRP test, in that one 5.6 mg per liter it is, creatinine is. And the serum creatinine is 1.3 mg per DL they have given. Okay, normal is 0.6 to 1.4, and it will be 6 mg per liter, it seems. Usually what I'm doing is excess of sprouts I'm using. And in the morning, during night time only I dip this nuts, dry fruits in water. In the morning we are consuming that one. Because of that, I don't know why it is. I'm quite healthy only, but the level is like that. That's why I asked how to reduce it.
So actually,
and we are the vegetarians actually. We are not using meat.
Some simple corrections I will suggest you, madam. One thing is, if you are taking sprouts, you little boil it and then consume. Don't consume it raw. So that one modification you make. Second thing is, you told about the CRP was raised. And creatinine was little bit raised. There are two things you told. So CRP is basically C-reactive protein. It indicates some kind of inflammatory change. C-reactive protein that indicates some kind of inflammatory processes going on inside your body. So CRP generally indicates some kind of pathological process. If CRP is raised, that means somewhere some pathological processes are going on. And the creatinine level was 1.3. It is not much significant. It is just a very minor change. So, like you are taking sprouts, that you have to little bit cut down. The high protein diet is not recommended when our creatinine level is raised. So you can keep some carbohydrate diets and little bit reduce your this. And after a few days, maybe after 45 days, you can again recheck what is the level of creatinine. So, and the CRP. So that way we can little bit, I think this will help you and it will come to the normal. 1.3 creatinine is not very significant. and sometimes with some like some many people will be in that range, not that problematic.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
But sprout what you are taking, it is always good that we should boil it and then consume.
Okay, sir. Okay. And what about dry fruits, sir? Badam.
Dry badam also better, as you told that you have raised creatinine level, better you cut down for a few days. But
Okay.
this you can take munakka, kishmish, that you can little bit soak and that you can consume. That will help you even for the proper cleansing, proper boil moment. It will help. Munakka or this dry grapes that you can soak and you can
Yeah.
consume early in the
Okay.
morning.
Okay. Okay. Okay, sir. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Namaste, sir.
Ji.
Sir, I want to ask whether nowadays adolescents they are taking protein supplements, protein powder, and also creatine supplements, creatine monohydrate. So I just wanted to know whether they are good for their health, means 18, 19-year-old. So can you throw some light on that, please?
Yeah, actually, we never suggest to go for this high protein diet. Actually, if you look carefully in our dietaries, this traditional dietary pattern, actually the high protein diet is not recommended. High protein diet is only recommended for the people who are involved in some kind of vigorous physical activities, as the person on previous participant told that the girl is involved in very sportive activities. In that case, we suggest. But here is the gym and other things, and they are going and consuming this all high protein things. It is only because protein is that is required for our muscle buildup. So they consume it to have a kind of look where we have the very well-defined musculature. But that kind of things is not recommended. It is always better that you go for the natural things. And we have so many things which has enough protein, like going for the pulses. So pulses contain enough and simple protein, which will help you to have proper that will fulfill your requirement of the protein. And the simple vegetable protein is always good because they are the simple form of protein. It will easily digest it and it will not create any extra load to your kidney and your digestive system. There are few problems related with high protein diet. Is one thing is increased uric acid. This increased uric acid will become the becomes the cause of your this gouty arthritis, and again it will have the excess of this creatinine is again the byproduct of the protein metabolism. So that all, if you are continuously consuming these kind of things, then it may have some side effect also, adverse effect also in your body. The whey protein is again the whey protein you can have. Whey protein people are using even for the weight reductions also. So they will cut down their diet and they just use this protein. So it is recommended for short period of time, not for long run.
I hope Didi got the answer. She's unmuted. She's.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Vinod Bhai is also with us.
I may put forward.
Ji, Vinod Bhai. Vinod Bhai has raised a hand before also.
नमस्ते डॉक्टर भैया, सभी को नमस्ते, co-explorer. My first question is hemoglobin 12.6. So what is the recommended nuts or fruit or juices?
12.6.
Yeah.
12.6. So nothing to worry. Actually, 13 to 16 is the normal range. So 12.6 is not.
So my age is plus 70, and the recent HB hemoglobin content is 12.5, 12.
Okay.
So So is it normal for
Yeah,
or
actually
some?
nothing much significant, about 12.5, 12.8.
Okay.
Very near to the normal. So
Right.
nothing to worry about it. Just I think the healthy dietary habit that itself is sufficient to fulfill.
Okay. As for balls, I'm using as far as and when papaya is available. Besides munakka, I'm using that.
Yeah, munakka is good.
And papaya.
So
That
if it
also.
is,
And in the evening, for quite some time, I am not taking this food grains, vegetable or fruits. So up to what time of the day fruits are recommended? Because towards evening they say that it will not be that useful. So your suggestion?
Yeah, the fruits generally we recommend, like you have the morning, like maybe lunch you have taken, and then evening, evening you are taking dinner.
Yeah.
So generally what we suggest that in between that, if you are feeling to have something or you are feeling hungry, that time you can go for these fruits, etc. Or
So up
you
to
can
about
have,
5 or 6 p.m.
You can have a little bit. So
But I don't feel like taking this food grains.
That's
so,
what. But if you feel to have something and lack of energy, that time you can have.
Green vegetables.
Yeah.
Normally, I'm utilizing green vegetables.
So evening you take only these things, fruits and green vegetable like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So evening diet we recommend within 3 hours of sunset, not after that. So within 3 hours, suppose the sunset is 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. So you should have completed
around 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock.
That is the correct time. Within that, you should finish your dinner.
Okay.
Then the digestion process will have the proper time. It will complete it, and the morning you will have the
because in any case,
body.
I have to retire to the bed by 10 o'clock.
It's good. Very good regimen.
So early morning, 5:30, I am there in the session.
This is a healthy. This is very nice regimen you are following. I don't think that you will be having any difficulties. And the hemoglobin level, that is also, you don't worry about it.
Okay.
If you are following this kind of regimen, in the next report you will get the normal range itself.
Okay.
12.8, 12.6 is not very like some significant considering the health.
Okay. Dhanyavad. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Prince Bhaiya. And thank you all the co-hosts. Time, and let's respect that.
I know Parikshit Bhaiya is driving, is in a movement. So he got disconnected, I guess, because he is traveling to Kanpur for the conference. So with this note, Akhilesh Bhaiya, thank you so very much for being with us, and your questions, our participants' questions and your answers really helps us in getting into a very healthy lifestyle. With this note, I thank you all. Prabhat Bhaiya also raised a hand. I believe Prabhat Bhaiya, if very short, if you can compile up with your question if you want. You have raised your hand. I guess by mistake it is done. So with this note, Akhilesh Bhaiya, thank you so very much. We will meet you again in the next session.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Namaste.
Namaste to all.
Namaste, Didi. Namaste, Bhaiya.
Namaste to all.
Namaste, Namaste.